This is about that night when the three of us were returning from a party. To reach home quickly, we chose a shortcut road, but little did we know that the same shortcut was about to become the last road of our lives. It was exactly midnight, and the three of us were coming back from a party. In the car, it was me, Ryan, my friend Mike was sitting beside me, and my girlfriend Emily was with us too. An eerie silence was spread all around. The roads were almost completely empty, and as far as we could see, there wasn't a single car in sight. We wanted to reach home quickly because our house was almost 50 kilometers away. It was already very late at night, and there was a strange uneasiness in the air. There was only one thought in our minds: to somehow reach home as soon as possible. Because of this restless hurry to get home, we decided to take a shortcut road. People used to say that this very road could take you to your destination in just half an hour. But we had no idea that choosing this shortcut was going to be the biggest mistake of our lives. I myself was in a big hurry because the next morning I had to attend a very important meeting. That was the reason I kept driving the car faster and faster, although my friends kept telling me again and again, "What's the rush? Drive slowly." But maybe they didn't realize how important that meeting was for me. After driving a little further ahead, we stopped near a small roadside diner. I stopped the car and asked the man at the diner if there was any shortcut from here that could help us reach home faster. The man looked at me carefully for a few moments, as if he was thinking about something. Then, in a low and quiet voice, he said, "Drive straight for about half a kilometer from here. After that, you'll see a road turning towards the forest. Just take that road. That path will take you to your destination quickly." I thanked him and drove the car forward. After driving for half a kilometer, I actually saw that road, leading straight towards a dense and pitch-dark forest. The moment I decided to turn the car onto that road, Emily once again said that there was no need to rush so much. We could drive slowly and calmly. Supporting her, Mike also said that after a long time, the three of us were together, and we should take our time and enjoy the drive a little. But I didn't listen to a single word they said. Without thinking anything through, I turned the car toward that deserted road and slowly began to increase the speed. I had no idea at all whether that the road I was choosing as a shortcut was the very road that would turn out to be the last road of our lives. I turned toward that shortcut road, and the moment the car reached that lonely stretch, I unknowingly increased the speed even more. The sound of the engine was now cutting through the silence and echoing loudly, and the car kept rushing forward on that dark, empty road. The night had grown very deep. The silence on the road was so intense that even the sound of our own engine felt strange and unsettling. I was driving at a high speed because there was only one stubborn thought in my heart: to somehow reach home as soon as possible. It was already quite late at night, and this road was so deserted that it felt as if no vehicle had passed through it for years. My girlfriend Emily kept looking out of the window again and again. In a frightened voice, she said to me that this road felt very strange and terrifying to her. The road was broken and uneven at many places. Dense forest was spread on both sides, and in the darkness of the night, all of it looked even more horrifying. The weather was cold. A thin layer of fog had spread across the road, because of which the path ahead was not clearly visible. Beyond a few meters, nothing could be seen except darkness. But I wasn't going to stop. I kept driving faster and faster. My hands were firmly gripping the steering wheel, and my foot was pressed down on the accelerator. There was only one thought constantly echoing in my mind: that no matter what happens, I had to reach home quickly. As we kept driving along this deserted road, almost 20 minutes had passed, but there was something very strange. The longer we stayed on this road, the more it felt as if this road was never going to end. We weren't able to cross the forest, nor did the road show any sign of ending. We couldn't understand at all where we were actually going, and this road, toward which unknown place it was taking us. Nearly half an hour had passed. We were still driving on the same road. but our destination felt like it was drifting farther and farther away from us. Now, even my friend Mike started getting restless. Fear was clearly reflected in his voice. He said to me, "Bro, that man at the diner said this road would get us home in very little time, but so much time has passed, and we're still wandering inside this forest." I tried to calm him down and said that maybe this was an old road. That's why it was taking a little longer, but we would get out of here soon. Just then, suddenly, right in front of our car, an odd-looking animal appeared. I panicked badly, and without thinking anything, I slammed the brakes hard. The brakes were so sudden and forceful that the car stopped with a violent jerk. My heart started pounding loudly. I thought, maybe that animal had come under the car, or had been crushed. I immediately got out of the car and started looking around in panic. But there was no animal there, not on the road, not near the car, not even under the car. I had seen it clearly. Then where did it go? By then, Mike and Emily also stepped out of the car. Mike asked nervously why I had suddenly hit the brakes. I told them that I thought an animal had come in front of the car. They looked around in every direction, but found nothing. Finally, I said it myself, that maybe it was just my imagination. The three of us got back into the car. I tried to start the engine, but the car didn't start. Once, twice. I tried many times, but the car completely gave up on us. Now my panic grew even stronger. I stepped out again and opened the hood. The moment I looked inside, my senses completely froze. The car's radiator was completely dry. All the water was gone. We were stuck on an unknown deserted road, dense forest all around, a pitch-black night, cold air and fog. At such a late hour, where were we supposed to go to get water? Far and wide, there was no house, no diner, no human in sight. Finally, we decided that staying near the car was no longer safe. Whatever road was left, we would have to cover it on foot. Tired and exhausted, we started walking. After about 20 minutes, it was already 1 in the morning. Mike was completely worn out. Mike kept saying again and again, "I can't take another step. I'm extremely tired, and I'm very thirsty." But unfortunately, we neither had a water bottle nor anything at all to drink. I said to Mike, "Man, there's no water. Come on, let's rest for a bit first. Then we'll move." When we looked toward the side of the road, we saw some old, broken cement benches lying there. We went over and sat down. As soon as I sat, I pulled out my phone from my pocket and tried calling home. But the phone showed no response because there was no network where we were standing. Dense forest surrounded us from all sides. We were completely distressed. On top of that, the car was broken, and there wasn't a single drop of drinking water. There was no hotel, diner, or shop on the road either. Just then, suddenly, Emily's eyes fell on an old board standing right beside us. She began reading it carefully and said in a trembling voice, "Look, see what's written on this board." I looked. Written clearly on the board were the words, "Entering this road is prohibited. This road is cursed. Whoever comes here never returns." As soon as Emily read this, she started trembling. Her face turned pale. In panic, she said to me, "It feels like we've made a huge mistake. I told you not to come onto this road, but you didn't listen to a single word I said." I tried to calm her down and said, "These are just rumors. Ghosts don't exist. Maybe someone wrote this just to scare people." But deep inside, my heart was pounding rapidly. Just then, I looked into the distance, somewhere far away in the darkness. A faint, flickering light appeared. I said to both of them, "Look, maybe that's a house, a hotel, or a diner. Maybe we'll find some help." We decided to move toward that light. Slowly, we reached closer to it, and when we finally arrived and looked ahead, standing right in front of us was a very large, very old, and extremely grand mansion. Seeing it, I was left completely stunned. Such a huge mansion on such a deserted road where there wasn't a single house in sight, no diner, no hotel. Just thinking about it felt strange to me. What was this mansion doing here? So massive, so old, and all around it, only darkness and dense forest. A strange uneasiness was rising inside me. I was scared, and at the same time, there was an odd feeling, as if some unknown danger was waiting for us. Just then, Emily softly said, "Come on, let's go inside and see. Maybe we'll get some help, because if we find water, we can reach home with our car." I looked at her and thought that honestly, going inside an unknown mansion in such a lonely, eerie place might not be the right thing to do. But on the other hand, we had been wandering for a long time. No help anywhere, no people, no shelter. Emily looked at me again and said, "Look, we've been wandering for so long now. There's no help anywhere. And here, this huge mansion is right in front of us. So why don't we go inside and check? Maybe we'll find some help." I took a deep breath and said, "All right, let's go and see what's inside." Just then, we reached the door of the mansion. The door was closed from the outside, when suddenly an elderly man came out from inside the mansion. He asked us, "Who are you people, and what are you doing here?" We said to him, "We've come from very far away. Our car broke down, and we couldn't find any hotel to spend the night. Then we saw your mansion and came here. Will you allow us to stay here for one night?" Smiling, he replied, "Yes, come in. We've been waiting for you." Hearing this, I felt something strange inside me, waiting for us. Emily said to me, "What are you thinking? Come on, let's go inside." So the three of us went inside the mansion. When we reached inside, we saw many people sitting there, talking among themselves. It felt like a big family gathering. They saw us and asked, "Who are you? And what are you doing here?" We told them everything, where we had come from, and what had happened to us. Then they said, "Don't worry, consider this your own home." That made us feel a little relieved. We thought at least someone was helping us, but we had no idea what was waiting for us ahead. It was already quite late at night. Then they said, "Come, have dinner with us." The three of us looked at each other. I said, "No, that's all right. We just need permission to stay for one night, that's all." Then they said, "Oh no, consider this your own home now. Think of us as your family. Come, sit and eat with us." So we sat with them. After a while, the food arrived. The people who cooked the food brought it and placed it on the table. The food looked quite delicious, and judging by the number of people, it felt like a large feast had been prepared. They said to us, "Eat, start eating." We began to eat. The moment I put the food in my mouth, it felt very strange to me. It felt as if the food was 2 or 3 days old. The taste wasn't good at all, yet in appearance, it looked very appetizing. That made me feel even more uneasy. But those people were eating it with great enjoyment. Emily and Mike also couldn't eat properly. They softly said to me, "This food isn't right, it's stale." I said to them, "Just eat quietly." So we somehow kept eating, little by little. After the meal, I asked the waiter, "Can I get some water, please?" I held my glass forward. He handed the glass to me. That's when I saw what I had been given was not water. It was red blood. Seeing this, I was terrified, and the glass slipped from my hand and fell to the floor. Everyone started looking at me. They asked, "What happened? Why did you drop the glass?" I said, "There is blood in the glass." Everyone looked closely and said, "Blood? Where? And why would there be blood in a glass?" Then my girlfriend, Emily, said, "Are you feeling okay? There's no blood here. Maybe you're tired. That's why you're imagining things." But I knew very clearly that what the waiter gave me was not water. It was blood. But the moment I blinked my eyes, that blood turned into water. Then they said to me, "Maybe you're exhausted. Go. Head to the room upstairs. A room has been prepared for you. Spend the night there today." Then the three of us walked toward that room. The moment I stepped inside, my eyes froze on their own. The room was extremely luxurious. A high ceiling, decorated walls, and a soft yellow light that made the entire room feel like a royal palace. But at that very moment, something filled my heart with a strange uneasiness. There were already 3 beds prepared in that room, clean, neatly arranged. It felt as if someone already knew that the 3 of us were going to arrive here. Questions began rising in my mind. Did they really know beforehand that we would be staying in this mansion or this palace? The servant's words echoed in my ears again. We were waiting for you. Then serving the food without delay. And now finding the beds ready like this. So quickly, so perfectly planned. None of this felt normal, but then Emily looked at me and said, "You think too much. Now quietly go to sleep. As soon as morning comes, we'll leave this place." I didn't say much after that. The 3 of us lay down on our respective beds. Within a short while, Emily and Mike fell into a deep sleep. But I couldn't sleep. My mind was filled with a strange restlessness. My heart was pounding fast for no clear reason. I was sleeping in a mansion, about which I knew absolutely nothing. The silence was so deep that I could clearly hear the sound of my own breathing. Finally, I picked up my phone. I glanced at the screen. It was exactly 2 in the morning. The entire mansion was drowned in sleep. I looked toward Emily and Mike. Both of them were in a deep sleep. I didn't think it was right to wake them up. I quietly got up and stepped out of the room. My heart felt heavy, and my feet seemed to move on their own deeper into the mansion. Right in front of our room, there was an old room. The door was half open. Darkness was peering out from inside. I thought, it's such a huge and luxurious mansion. What harm could there be in taking a look at one room? I slowly stepped inside that room. The moment I saw what was inside, my breath caught in my throat. There were 15 to 20 paintings hanging on the walls, all of them covered in dust and grime, blurred, extremely old, and just below each painting, something was written. I went closer and read carefully. It was a date of death, meaning the day on which those people had died was written there. My heartbeat started racing. I slowly wiped one of the paintings with a piece of cloth. As the dust began to clear, the face became more visible, and in the very next moment, the ground slipped from beneath my feet. That face belonged to no one else. It was the same man with whom I had been sitting and having dinner a short while ago. I was frozen in shock. Clearly written below was date of death, 50 years ago, which meant these people had died exactly 50 years ago. My entire body started trembling. Every nerve shuddered. How was this even possible? The people with whom we had laughed and eaten together were not human at all. They were dead. Now everything made sense to me. That's why everything was prepared in advance. The food, the room, the beds, everything. I couldn't stay there even for a single moment. I ran back toward our room and loudly began waking Emily and Mike. The moment they heard my voice, both of them woke up in shock. Emily and Mike got up from their beds. Mike said nervously, "What happened, man? Why are you shouting like this?" I didn't waste even a second. I just said, "Come with me. I want to show you something." Looking at the condition of my face, both of them understood that this wasn't something ordinary. I took them straight to that old room. The moment they stepped inside, their eyes fell on the paintings hanging on the walls. Without saying anything, I pointed toward those paintings. Emily and Mike moved closer and started looking carefully. In the very next moment, the color drained from their faces. They had understood what I was trying to say. Emily's voice began to tremble. What is all this?" Mike looked at me with terrified eyes. In a slow but heavy voice, I said, "Yes, man. We're inside a haunted mansion. It's not safe to stay here, even for a single moment. Come on. Somehow, we have to get out of here alive." There were no more questions. The 3 of us made the decision right then. We ran toward the staircase and started rushing down quickly, But the moment we reached downstairs, our breaths came to a halt. The same people with whom we had eaten dinner a short while ago, all of them were standing right in front of us together. Their bodies were completely rotten, skin was hanging loosely in many places. Their eyes were deep and pitch black. Their faces were so horrifying that the moment I saw them, my heart started pounding violently. Emily hid behind me in fear. Mike's lips were trembling. Now we were completely certain staying here even for a minute was like inviting death. The three of us ran toward the outside of the mansion without looking back. Somehow, we managed to get out, and running non-stop, we reached our car. Emily was crying. Mike was shaking uncontrollably. I hurriedly tried to start the car, but the engine didn't start. That's when I remembered. There was no water in the radiator, which meant the car couldn't run at all. And just then, my eyes fell straight ahead. Those same people were standing right in front of our car. They were staring at us, and then they slowly began moving toward us. All of them spoke together. "What happened? Where are you going?" Come with us." As they kept speaking, they kept coming closer. Within just a few seconds, they were right next to the car. The three of us sat frozen inside the car in sheer terror. I immediately locked all the doors from the inside, but suddenly, all of them lunged at the car. Someone was slamming their hands on the windows. Someone was pulling at the doors. And at that very moment, everything went dark right before my eyes. Emily's scream, Mike's voice, everything slowly faded away. And then, all three of us lost consciousness. After some time, my eyes slowly opened. The moment I woke up, I froze. Morning had arrived. Soft sunlight was spread all around. I nervously looked toward Emily and Mike and woke them up. Their eyes opened too. The three of us looked around. Everything felt completely normal. No darkness, no terrifying sounds, no rotten faces, just the silence of the morning. I opened the car door and stepped outside. The air felt normal, but inside my mind, the fear was still sitting there. That's when my eyes fell on the open hood of the car. Slowly, very slowly, I walked toward the hood and leaned in to look inside. What I saw shook me from the inside. The radiator was completely filled with water, absolutely full, as if it had never drained at all. I stood frozen, because at night, the radiator water had completely run out, every last drop. Then how did it suddenly fill up? Who filled it? And when? A storm of questions started raging inside my head. At that exact moment, I remembered that night, those people who were walking toward our car. Then where did they suddenly disappear? And that mansion, where we had spent the night. It wasn't visible anywhere now. I couldn't understand anything. What was really happening to us? That's when Emily said in panic, "Whatever this is, just get us out of here now. Don't stop for even a second." Without thinking, I started the car. And this time, the car started immediately. I pressed the accelerator and sped toward the same road from where we had come. Without stopping, we drove straight out of the forest. The moment the forest ended, everything felt normal again. After driving a little further, we reached the same place where that night we had asked a tea seller about the shortcut. But there was nothing there. No tea stall, just a small, broken, abandoned hut, completely in ruins. I kept staring at it, again and again. This was the same place, the exact same spot, where that night the tea seller had been standing. This was where he had told us about the shortcut road, but now, there was no one here. No tea, no shop, no human being. Without saying a word, I got back into the car and drove straight toward my home. From that day on, I never took that shortcut road again, and I never, ever returned toward that forest. To this day, I still don't know who that tea seller really was, what that mansion truly was, and who those people actually were. But one thing I learned for life: whenever you have to go somewhere, never trust an unknown shortcut road, because it's possible that road won't take you to your destination. Instead, it might take you somewhere else entirely. Our luck was good. That night, we escaped. And this was our story.